Welcome to Moving Forward for Life with Rosita. Discover your way home. You know, one thing that is constant in life is there will always be change. And changes could be buying or selling a home, the loss of a loved one, marriage, divorce, it goes on. But when you find yourself on a new path, whether planned or unexpected, what you know is home is shaken or shattered. So this is clear. How you process a change will impact the trajectory of your life. Moving Forward for Life with Rosita starts now. Hi, and welcome to Moving Forward for Life with Rosita. Discover your way home. I am Rosita, your self-discovery coach, and I partner with you to help you determine what you need to come home. Home being the core of who you were made to be. The focus of my shows are topics related to self-discovery, all with a goal to help you move forward in a life you desire. We're now in November, and the holidays are coming up quickly. There are many of us that are separated, going through the divorce process or divorced, and we will be alone this holiday season. It's a challenging time, and it feels surreal. There are going to be ups and downs, the pains that move in and out, and sometimes just making it through the day is the best that we can do. And we're here to encourage you that you can make it through and that you are not alone. In our podcast today, my guests are experts in this arena. They are powerhouses, and we will discuss a transition of being alone during the holidays, and we'll provide you tips not just to survive it, but to thrive it. I can share during my own separation and divorce, it was tough. I had to make a decision that I was going to choose me, and I needed to connect with other women that were going through the same thing to have a support. I had to learn not to ruminate on what I lost, but focus on the new normal and finding the new me. Today, my guests are Heather Steer and Laila Aitkin Ali. Sorry, I was mispronouncing it so terribly beforehand. So they are the powerhouses, the boss women of Split, FYI. Heather Steer is the COO and co-founder, and Laila Aitkin Ali is the CEO and co-founder. Welcome, ladies. I'm so glad you're here. This is such a great topic for women that are going through this right now. So I'm super excited. Can you share a little bit about you, your passion, your Split FYI, and how it helps us women?
Sure. So I'm Laila, and nice to meet you all. Let's see, I would say that, my story began when I was pregnant and was facing divorce at the same time. And I would say that I had a very long, encounter with these feelings of separation from my child during divorce, right? So during the holidays, any holiday. So any time that was, Christmas, Thanksgiving, summer. So these are all the times that really I could see that there was an acute stress inside of me, just thinking that I'm not going to be able to pass these holidays with my daughter, right? So it took a while to figure out what are the tools that I really could use for myself to make me feel better during that time. Obviously, you want to preempt those situations with, finding out if your friends are out there, what are they doing? Can you tag along? And there's a lot of shame associated with divorce and separation. Right. So fear of asking your friends, hey, what are you doing? Can I come along? It takes a lot. But I will say to you, and I got a lot of feedback, my friends wished I asked more. Okay. So your good friends, they don't know how to navigate that situation. They want you to ask and see, so they're ready to help you. Number one. And if it wasn't that, I did do something that I thought was really amazing, and it helped me through, was I asked all my friends and family to write the 3 things they loved about me. And I know, and I kept it in a holiday book, right? So a journal that was specific around the holidays. And I had that always with me. And then I would take account like of the things that I did. And I've always referred to these nice things that people thought of me. So I felt better about myself. And especially if I couldn't spend time with them, right? And then I would write the things that I was doing for me. Right. And inside this journal, or the fun things that happened, or the fun, like even funny moments, or whatever that happened, so that I could share it with my daughter when she was getting older. So these are the things I did when I didn't get to spend Christmas with you. But it wasn't so bad because I had a good time, and one time I'll do it with you. It's kind of that thing that you will share it with your children. And that's in regards when you have kids, especially younger, and you're having to share that time with someone else. And these are the little tools I think that are important just to remember that you're not alone. You do have a community. I mean, part of the reason why, this was a big catalyst is for Heather and I to create Split FYI, because it is a place that people can go to and connect with others, by and large in the same boat, maybe different stages of divorce, but in the same boat. And it's become an amazing community that supports one another, champions one another, and is like, hey, if you're not doing anything, let's try to meet up, or let's do this, or maybe we should plan a vacation together, or, let's check in on each other every single day. That is what is helping people in these times of triggering moments that, oh my God, I'm alone, but you're not alone.
Yes. Yeah, that makes a big difference. And while we're on that topic of community, can you share I know you have coffee break on Fridays,
Coffee talks every Friday morning.
coffee talk. So if you could share some information on that, and then the SOS on Saturdays, can you
Yes.
share some info on that?
So some of the community initiatives are that we have coffee talk every morning at 9 o'clock on Pacific time.
Fridays, not every.
Right, Friday, sorry, not every morning. Every Friday is what I meant to say. And that is, it's kind of like the idea of cheers. Everybody kind of gets to know your name. You walk in, you come into the Zoom session, and you can talk if you want to talk. You don't have to talk. You can just be a listener, observer. You don't even have to put your video on if you don't feel comfortable to do so. But it's people, we talk about everything. We cover everything, emotional, practical, what's going on in the world sometimes, what are our feelings around it. But a lot of it is about that emotional roller coaster through divorce, before, during, and after, seriously, and every stage. And then on every other Saturday, again at 9 a.m. Pacific time, we have SOS, which is a little more structured, and everyone who attends does have time to talk and is encouraged to actually share their story. What is their, of the week or the past 2 weeks, what did they go through? What are they bringing to the table? What are they asking the community for? And then it's a little bit more mentored in a sense and coached in that session. And we also have accountability hour on Wednesday mornings for our community members, where they get to work on their divorce with CDFA, which is Heather, and me, who's a divorce coach. And so when they're working on things on their divorce, which can be very overwhelming, like paperwork or this or that, at least they have us in that space, and they can ask us questions or just have like fact checks and just, I'm overwhelmed. Can you help me get to that next stage? So that's another thing that we offer.
I can just say from my own experience, I actually got in contact with Heather. She answered questions that even my divorce attorney couldn't even answer at that time. And amazing. That's all I'm going to say about that. But Heather was super helpful. She introduced me to Split FYI and the support groups. I go on Fridays every so often, but it's an open forum. So you could just go there and talk about what's on your heart that morning or what you're struggling with. And I love that there's no judgment, and you can just be. You could just be. You could cry. You could be so mad. You could, you can have a place. That's what I'm talking about with the community support groups of people that are going through the same thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it's people from around the world that show up there too, which is really, I think, even more powerful, because it shows that it's this is a global situation where people are going through this.
It doesn't
Yeah.
discriminate cultures.
No.
Yeah, it transcends every nationality, every ethnicity, age. I mean, there's even a lot of people in my age group that are getting divorced, and I'm just like, what is going on? You spent a lifetime with this person, and now we're starting over, or, you know, we got to reinvent ourselves or figure out who we are at that point. It's overwhelming.
Fastest growing segment of divorce is 50 and older. And typically those divorces are 20 plus year marriages.
Mhm.
I'm in that stat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very true.
And I think, and to your point, I think that's why it's so important, that self-discovery, obviously, during those times of self-doubt or feeling a bit alone, because we feel alone because our situation has completely changed. Our traditions, especially around the holidays, they're going to look different. So all of a sudden, it's just compounding this emotion and this feeling. So I think that's why it's really important to remind yourself that actually the way people feel about me, my community, they still feel the same. Nothing has changed on that level. Circumstances have changed, but who I am and how people feel about me have not changed.
Yeah.
So that's why it really helped me asking my friends and family to, you know, say like, what are the 3 things you love about me? Most of them gave me more than 3 things, but it was so nice to, you know, just jot that down and have it in my little heart book, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me ask you, what do you guys think are the 2 most important things to have during this holiday season? Like, what would you suggest a person does during the season? Because, you know, it's overwhelming with the music and the rom-coms and the
No,
I think one of the biggest things to release is expectations around the day that something is celebrated. So like Christmas is December 25th. We know that, but it can be celebrated a few days before or a few days after. And you can set up traditions around, maybe it's, we have like a small town parade that my kids now we go to. And, or like Thanksgiving that I don't have them. We have a Friendsgiving that, you know, my divorced friends and I do. And we spend Thanksgiving together on the years that I don't have my kids. And then we do, you know, depending on what's going on with my family on the other years. So, and, you know, I love, and Laila is exactly right. Reaching out to your friends is huge. Like, it's okay to go spend the holidays with other families or, you know, and it's tough. I'm not going to lie. Like, I get, you know, really emotional thinking about it. And I'm like, oh, I don't have Thanksgiving this year. That sucks. But I have these other traditions that I've built up.
Yeah.
So, and it's, you know, and even, you know, as your kids get older too, like we celebrate, I think we're doing Christmas on December 21st with our older kids because they're going to their significant other families, right? So, you know, you have to evolve. And I think letting go of that sort of it being anchored on a very specific date on the calendar is helpful. And then
I think one of the biggest things that we underestimate is, and we just don't do enough of, is having a plan, having something that you are excited about and looking forward to, whether it literally can be the simple thing of just going and getting a massage,
Oh,
whatever it is. No, but literally having something that is going to add to your, like, you know, yourself, to your bucket, you know, even, or like the haircut you haven't gotten in a year or 2, or, you know, a new hairdo or new this, or something that is for yourself. That's all of that doesn't rely on other people. Right. So, you know, in that we really can create that narrative for ourselves. We just don't often. And so I think that's a big thing to, you know, to just be cognizant of like, give yourself something.
yeah. The thing that I did was I accepted that I'm going to be feeling some feelings. Yep. And that it's okay. I gave myself permission to be able to go in the room and cry if I need to, not to wallow in it,
right,
but to release it.
Oh yeah.
And I live with my brother, so I gave him a heads up that, hey, don't take it personal if I disappear for long periods of time. I can't do karaoke.
Mm,
I just can't do any of that right now because it's just too painful.
yeah.
So being completely honest with him gave me, like, I took care of me in that moment,
Yep.
you know, and if I needed to go cry, I did, but I just released it. And I was so kind to myself and just surrounded myself, made plans with other friends to do, you know, be busy, but not so busy that I'm going to neglect what I need when I have that alone time as well.
It's a balance.
Yes.
And what you're saying is that's so interesting is because it's being truthful to yourself and being truthful to everyone around you. So being able to communicate that to the people around you is going to help you ultimately. We're very fearful, we're very ashamed, or don't know how to say it. We think they're not going to understand, but really that's what people need. They need to understand where you're failing. They're just guessing. They're not, if they're not going through it, they don't understand, right? So communicating that to, if it's your brother, it's your family, your parents, whoever it is, your good friends, it's essential because that helps you communicate to yourself.
Right. And to release yourself from any judgments they might feel. You know, most of my friends and family are still married and they don't understand. They definitely don't understand the whole blended family thing and then a blended family divorce.
Right.
That's completely different. So I have to be honest with them because it soothes my spirit. But I also have to be okay with whatever opinions they have. It's just an opinion. I don't have to wear that. I used to say, I don't take off that fur. Doesn't look good on me. I don't have to wear that fur of your opinion, really.
Yeah, true. Also, they didn't earn those stripes. If they haven't gone through it, they can't. I'm sorry. Unless you go through it, then you're, you know, if you're choose to be judgy or choose to not, you know, then that's a different story. But if you haven't gone through it, you can't. Sorry.
And that's where you can find out who your true friends are.
Oh,
Because a true friend is not going to judge you. They're not going to tell you this is what you should do. And all the while you're single, you've never been married.
Exactly. It's a tough one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So go ahead.
No, go on.
I was going to ask, what are some things that you guys feel like we should absolutely stay away from during the holiday season?
There's not an absolute.
Yeah.
Anything that you think is going to trigger you is really, you know, they learn your triggers. And I know that it's easier said than done because sometimes they happen and you didn't even realize that's something that will trigger you, i.e. a song, you know, or people playing bingo. I mean, whatever it is that you're just like, whoa, that really is triggering to me. So sometimes you're learning in the process, but if you do know, you know, just be okay with also protecting yourself from that. Absolutely. You know, don't go to, I don't know, carols or sing-alongs if that's going to really trigger you. You know, it's not.
Anything you feel like where you're going to be missing out or less than, I would stay away from. Like that's, and again, I would challenge people to reinvent new traditions. For ones that you can't, you know, once you have a breakup, you can't ever have that tradition again. Well, it's time to reinvent it. And that's okay. Traditions start, you know, today.
Yeah. I also wanted to reiterate, like when we want to go and, you know, be in company, choose that company really wisely in the sense that even if it's your best friend, but they're in a really loving relationship, right? And you're going to be surrounded with that. And for a few days, that's not going to be pretty healthy for you until you're in a state that you're okay with that, right? If you're in the influx of this feeling of, oh my God, don't put yourself in that vulnerable situation and be okay with not wanting to do that. It's okay. You know, you'll get there, but don't push it. It's hard to see loving couples, you know, living a life that you once had and you don't have anymore. It's hard to put yourself in that position. So, yeah.
And the other thing is, given that the holiday season is that we're at the end of the year right now, I spend some time reflecting back on how far you have come in the last 12 months and the changes. And while the changes sometimes are challenging and viewed in the negative light, celebrate the things that you survived and thrived through to get you to the point where you're at today. And then if it's like the New Year's holiday, like I spent my first New Year's alone and I loved it. And Rosita, you and I were talking about it. And it's that I set some very different intentions for new beginnings for the next year, right? So it's the look back and celebrating like, whoa, I'm doing okay. Like it's tough, I'm not gonna lie, but I'm in a better place than I was. And now I'm going to move forward into the next year with some different intentions. So this is a good time of year to sort of have a look back and then a look forward.
Yes. And I like, I was reading somewhere, this group of divorced women came together and they just wrote a bunch of stuff that they did during the holidays. And one of them really caught my eye is be careful not to do the overs, which is overeating, over drinking, overspending.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because that's a lot of us what we use to cope,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm out. And then when we get the bill, it's like, oh my God, what did I do? Try to return everything. And it's just, we're building a new life. We're building a new normal. And I love what you guys said about taking care of yourself, being around people that love you, embrace the holiday and make it yours.
Yep.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. To me, one thing I absolutely had to stay away from for me, you know how Ebenezer Scrooge has the Christmas past, present, and future? I had to stop looking at the pictures of Christmas past. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. Mm-hmm.
don't look at them. That memory is not, I'm not able to touch it right
Mm-hmm.
now because it's too painful.
Mm-hmm.
And I absolutely could not do the romantic Christmas holiday movies. And I wasn't ready, like you were saying, Laila, about being around people that have loving relationships. I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
But it's too big of a trigger for me.
Yeah. Block the Hallmark channel.
Yeah, block it. Absolutely. Get rid of it for the holidays. What about for New Year's Eve? Any suggestions?
I think what Heather pointed out was really, that is such a reflective time for so many people and in general, because it's an end of a year and a beginning of a new one. And, we set all these expectations and goals and, oh my God, it's a new year. We usually just dive into the new year thinking that we're going to do all of them. Right. I think that when you're going through something, either whether you're thinking about it, going through it, or coming out the other side, it doesn't matter. You've gone through a transition, or you might eminently are going through a transition. And I think it's just being, kind to yourself and setting maybe just one. What is that next step? What is it that I want to achieve in like a week's time? Let's take it, let me be kind to myself and let me just go slow until I'm through and gone through this and I'm ready to take on more. And that's okay. Because let's be honest, even if you're in a good state of mind, if you set those 10 goals, I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to, exercise every day, they last like a month and that's it. Right. So again, don't do everything all at once. It goes for anybody, but I think it's, we often think about actions rather than feelings. And I think that we need to start thinking more about how we want to feel. Okay. So I would say, and this helped me, was like, how do I want to feel when this new year starts? What is that feeling that I want to embody, and it could be protected. It could be, I feel good about myself. I'm happy. I'm joyful, whatever it is, aim for one of those things that, that you're starting the new year with.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we're coming close to the end of our segment here. You guys, thank you so much. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day. I know you guys are extremely busy. And hey, share how the people can get in contact with you.
Go check out our website. It's www.splitfyi.com. You can get all sorts of information, and particularly those community resources. You can sign up for attending those. And, we'd love to see you there and have you be supported in our community.
Yes, definitely.
And thank you for having us, Rosita.
Absolutely. You guys you've helped me out so much. I just want to spread the word so other people, men and women, can just hop on Friday morning, which is this Friday, 9 a.m. Pacific time.
Yep.
And they can go to your website and get that link, right?
Yes.
And we have, if they want to become a community member, we have a holiday special,
Yes.
which
It's Rudolph. So if you go in and you become an annual member, you get 30% off. And the code is like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. So it's guiding light through,
Rudolph.
through the life cycle of your divorce. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And with that, you get a plethora of resources, information on best practices in divorce, how to get through it, forms. I mean, it's great. It's loads of information through it.
All right. I want to thank you guys again. And as always, my desire, your desire is to bring awareness and let people know that they're not alone. And as we partner with them, we help them navigate their path to a life they desire. I just want to remind everybody that choosing the trajectory of your life is your choice. You get to create the path you want to go to and create the steps to get there. Remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel to watch this video and other recordings at Rosita Sells Homes. See you guys next time. Thank you so much, Heather and Laila. And we will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for listening to Moving Forward for Life with Rosita. Discover your way home. Through my own personal healing journey, I've come out stronger and braver. I know firsthand how hard, how lonely, and heartbreaking it is to continually live in pain. As we work together, you will discover the good, the bad, and the not so pretty parts of yourself so you can uncover the fabulous in you. Discover what you need to come home, whether that's a physical home or the home in you. Join me every second and fourth Friday at 12:30 p.m. Pacific.